The film begins by showing an old doll named Chucky being recycled at the manufacturing company called Good Guys. Previously, there was a murder case and a child named Andy and his mother said that Chucky was the culprit. When the leader of the company named Sullivan came to look at the doll, the worker who was attaching the doll's eyes was electrocuted to death. Sullivan was immediately shocked and ordered his men not to spread the case. He then ordered his subordinate named Matson to bring Chucky.
As far as the stockholders and I are concerned.
Meanwhile, at an orphanage, Andy was being accompanied by a psychiatrist. His mother was then being treated by a psychiatrist but was in a different place so they couldn't live together. When he was with the psychiatrist, Andy told that Chucky was the spirit of a criminal who entered the body of the good guy doll so as not to go to hell. The spirit wanted to take Andy's body because if he was in the doll for too long, then that evil spirit will forever be trapped there.
Chucky was trying to take over my soul. He needed me because I was the first person he told his secret.
Andy told his story as a dream because he knew no one would believe his story. One day, a married couple named Phil and Joanne came to the orphanage and decided to adopt Andy until his mother was declared cured.
Are we even qualified to take care of a boy like this?
You might foster him until his mother recovered.
They finally brought Andy home. While looking at the house, Andy saw an antique ceramic. Phil told him to be careful with the ceramics because they were antiques that had been passed down from generation to generation by Joanne's grandmother. After that, they told Andy to go to his room upstairs. While heading there, Andy heard music from a room. When Andy opened it, he found Kyle. Joanne, who caught up with Andy, told him that Kyle was another adopted child who had recently lived there. Kyle seemed a little naughty and could not get along with her new family.
Phil will shoot you if he catches you again.
I need the money. I'm gonna be on my own next year.
After that, Joanne escorted Andy to his room. While looking through the toys, Andy found a Good Guys doll and got scared. All the Good Guys dolls made sounds, and that one doll was called Tommy.
Before dinner, we'll go explore the backyard.
It's only a doll. Andy, are you listening to me?
Joanne then took Tommy outside. Back to Matson, he finally took Chucky to his car. When Matson was out, Chucky used Matson's phone to call the orphanage caring for Andy and asked about Andy. Grace, the manager of the orphanage, then told him that Andy no longer lived there. When Matson returned to the car, Chucky held him with a gun and told him to do what he said. Matson also went to a quiet place and put his hands on the back of the seat according to Chucky's orders. Chucky then tied his hands and shot Matson, but the gun Chucky held was only a toy gun. When Matson saw that there was no one behind him, Chucky smothered Matson in the head with plastic until he died. After that, Chucky went to Andy's house. When Chucky saw Tommy lying in the middle of the house, Chucky smashed his face using Joanne's favorite antique ceramic and broke the ceramic. After that, Chucky buried Tommy in the yard. Chucky then went back into the house and pretends to be Tommy.
One of you owes Joanne an apology.
The next day, everyone in the house gathered. Phil then showed an antique ceramic that had been broken and asked who had done it. But of course Kyle and Andy both admitted that they were not the perpetrators. Phil then punished them. They were not allowed to leave the house until someone confessed and apologized.
Until somebody fesses up, you're both grounded.
After that, Phil talked to Joanne about Andy. He felt that Andy was a problem child who still couldn't let go of his past with the doll. Even so, Joanne, who already liked Andy, felt that Andy was still traumatized and still wanted Andy to live with them. Andy secretly overheard their conversation. He probably didn't want to worry his adoptive parents, so even though he was still scared, Andy decided to bring Tommy's doll that was lying in the middle of the house.
Well, you have to admit he's a very...
Tommy, and I'm your friend to the end.
Andy showed Phil and Joanne that he was okay with the doll, but Andy had no idea that the doll was actually Chucky. While playing in the yard with Kyle, Andy also took Chucky with him. They played on the swing, which was right above where Chucky had buried Tommy.
Come on, let me off! Andy!
At night, when Andy fell asleep, Chucky started to act and tied Andy's body to the bed. Andy's mouth was also covered with a cloth so he wouldn't scream. Chucky started to cast a spell and tried to take Andy's body, but suddenly Kyle came from the window. Chucky immediately returned to pretending to be a doll.
Did you miss me, Andy? I sure missed you.
Give me the power, I beg.
Kyle, who had just left, quietly entered Andy's room and felt strange seeing Andy tied up. She took the cloth from Andy's mouth, and Andy immediately shouted that it was Chucky who tied him up. But suddenly the door opened and Phil and Joanne entered.
What the hell is this now?
Andy became hysterical and kept saying that the culprit was Chucky who was trying to take his body. Joanne immediately untied all of his ties and tried to calm him down. Meanwhile, Phil was angry because he thought Kyle tied up Andy so he wouldn't report her when her secretly went outside.
Yeah? You know, Kyle...
Because Kyle didn't want to confess and Andy was hysterical, Phil took Chucky and threw him into the basement.
Oh, come on, Phil.
There, see?
After the basement door was closed, Chucky woke up and his nose was bleeding. Apparently Chucky was starting to turn into a human again and he would be trapped there forever if he didn't quickly take Andy's body.
Is it Chucky coming to get you?
The next day, Andy started going to school. When the school bus picked him up, Chucky also got in and went to school. When the classroom was empty, Chucky looked for Andy's assignment paper and scribbled on it with harsh words. Because of that, the teacher named Kettlewell became angry and punished Andy. When class was over, all students were allowed to go home, except Andy. Kettlewell then asked about the assignment paper, but Andy admitted that he had not done that. At that time, Andy, who was opening the storage cupboard, saw Chucky there, and he wanted to say that Chucky was the culprit, but Kettlewell first took Chucky and put him in a small room in the classroom.
But I didn't do it, I swear.
No.
Kettlewell was even more angry because she thought Andy had brought toys. Andy was then left in a locked classroom, while Kettlewell went to call Joanne and reported what happened. Shortly thereafter, Chucky, who was in the small room, rebelled and asked Andy to open the door. Andy was frightened and ran away through the window. When Kettlewell returned, she thought that the noise from the small room was Andy. Kettlewell unlocked the small room and asked Andy to come out, but she found no one inside. Kettlewell thought Andy was hiding and looked for him, but Chucky appeared and beat her to the ground. Chucky then brought a wooden ruler and beat Kettlewell.
Naughty Miss Kettlewell.
When Andy came home, Phil immediately scolded him. Andy talked about Chucky following him to school. Then Phil took Andy to the basement and showed that Chucky was there.
She was keeping him after school for detention.
I want you to look down there and tell me what you see.
After that, Phil and Joanna fought because Phil wanted to return Andy to the orphanage while Joanne wanted to keep taking care of him. Andy, who heard them arguing, became gloomy, but Kyle came to Andy and advised him to be strong.
Send him back.
Well, you don't have to make it sound so hard.
I've lived with dozens of different families.
At night, Andy took a knife from the kitchen and went down to the basement to kill Chucky. When he got there, Chucky was not there. Andy was looking for him here and there. When he was looking, Chucky ambushed him from above until he fell.
Be very close, in fact.
Not long after, Phil, who heard the commotion, came there. When Phil saw Andy holding a knife, he slowly went down the stairs and approached Andy, but Chucky secretly hooked his leg using an iron until Phil fell. When Phil was already hanging, he saw Chucky, who immediately knocked him to death. After that, Joanne and Kyle also came. Joanne immediately approached Phil and cried, while Kyle went to call an ambulance. Joanne became angry at Andy and forbade him to come closer. Not long after, the ambulance came carrying the bodies of Phil, and Andy immediately was picked up by Grace to go back to the orphanage. Before leaving, Andy warned Kyle to be careful because Chucky was still in the basement.
He's still in the cellar, Kyle. Don't let him get you too.
After the police finished investigating, there were only Joanne and Kyle. Kyle looked sad and threw Chucky into the trash can outside the house. After that, Kyle was playing on a swing and her feet accidentally found where Tommy was buried. After seeing Tommy, Kyle felt suspicious. She then opened the trash can and was surprised because Chucky was not there. After that, there was a commotion from Joanne's room. Kyle checked it while carrying a knife.
Joanne!
When she arrived, she found Joanne lifeless. When Kyle was still shocked, Chucky, who was hiding in the blanket, attacked her. Kyle fought back, but Chucky managed to win. Chucky also pointed a knife and ordered Kyle to take him to Andy's place. Kyle then drove the car and went there, but in the middle of the road she had time to throw Chucky out of the car. Kyle tried to run over him but failed. Kyle went down to look for him, but Chucky again ambushed her and held her with a knife.
Get out of this body soon, I'll be trapped in here.
After that, Kyle set off the fire alarm at Andy's orphanage and made all the residents come out. When Andy saw her holding Chucky, he knew that it was all Chucky's doing. Grace saw them and took them to her office. She then scolded Kyle for joking too much by setting off the alarm. Grace then grabbed Chucky from Kyle's lap, and Chucky immediately spoke while stabbing Grace with a knife.
Amazing, isn't it?
After that, Kyle quickly took Andy to run away, but Chucky managed to separate them. Chucky then ordered Andy to obey his orders.
Come on!
When the fire engine came, Chucky told Andy to get into the truck. Kyle saw them and chased them in her car. When Chucky tried to take Andy's body, Kyle distracted him and overtook the truck to stop. Andy then ran on Chucky's orders and Kyle chased him back. Andy then entered the good guy's company factory and Kyle caught up with him. Chucky took him to the finished product area and tried to take Andy's body there. Chucky began to cast a spell, and a dark cloud gathered over the building. But the cloud suddenly dissipated and Chucky failed to take Andy's body. Apparently, Chucky was too late. Chucky had been inside the doll for too long that he was stuck in there forever. Chucky screamed angrily and took out his anger on Andy, but Kyle came and hit Chucky with a box of dolls. Andy and Kyle started running and passed the doll production line in order to escape. Chucky managed to catch Andy, but Kyle managed to pull Andy and pinched Chucky's hand. Chucky then pulled his hand until it broke and bled profusely. After that, Chucky put the knife in his hand which broke off to become a weapon. Chucky chased after them again and Kyle managed to beat him until Chucky got stuck in the production machine. Chucky then got stuck into a machine that was functioned to unite doll body parts. Chucky screamed in pain. After coming out, his body had become abysmal. Kyle thought they had killed Chucky then walked away casually, but suddenly Chucky, who was still alive, attacked Kyle until she fainted. Chucky then started attacking Andy, but his hand slipped instead. Andy quickly sprayed liquid that could melt into Chucky's body. Chucky screamed again in pain and his body melted. Andy immediately helped Kyle, who was almost injured by a production machine. After that, Kyle saw Chucky, who had melted. She was happy again because she thought Chucky was dead, but Chucky still moved and attacked her. Kyle then put a tube into Chucky's mouth. Slowly Chucky's head grew, then exploded. Now that Chucky was really dead, Kyle and Andy walked out of the factory safely.